Hey everybody, how you doing? It's Kev here. I'm here in beautiful Western New York at my family's summer house. We're probably the only family that actually leaves Paris, France, and comes to Western New York to spend pretty much our entire summer. We get to spend 6 or 7 weeks here every year. I just love it out here. It's just gorgeous. Sadly, long COVID is kicking my ass. I haven't been able to do much. I've been pretty much confined to home the whole time. In fact, my long COVID is probably leaving me in worse condition now than it has done for any time in the last 19 months. However, as you can see, I always have a guitar with me. Today, we are changing the strings on, this is my Music Man coupless. Her name is Julia, and I love her. She's beautiful. Today, we're doing a full string change, and I particularly want to show you how I do, number one, we're going to do a little fingerboard conditioning and cleaning, and we're also going to do lubrication. I want to help to keep our guitar in tune. We're going to lubricate the top of the saddles. We're going to lubricate through the nut, and I'm going to show you how I do that. Let's have a quick run through of all my little tools. Let's see, I think we should be set up here, okay? All right. So this is my little travel pouch that I use when I'm traveling. I've got a set of super slinkies. We've got a string winder, and we've got a cutters for snipping my strings. Capo is sometimes useful. Ernie Ball Wonder Wipes fretboard conditioner. I use these for conditioning the fretboard. I love these, they're great. Here I have a string action gauge. And what else do we have in here? Oh yes, so this is my tool for adjusting my truss rod, which is just a 3mm bar. You could use an Allen wrench as well. With I stuck a piece of cork on the top just to make things useful and handy. I've got a couple of little Allen wrenches for the saddles. 2mm Allen wrench on this guitar for adjusting the intonation if necessary. I'm not doing that today. We'll do another video for that. Allen wrenches for the saddle height, which I won't need to change because I've already adjusted that where I need it. And here I have a very small tube of white lithium grease, which I use for my lubrication. All right. And I got a little Ernie Ball polishing cloth and a cup of tea because I am in fact Irish. I grew up in Dublin, and as you may or may not know, Ireland is not actually about beer and it's not about whiskey. Ireland is all about tea. We drink more tea than just about any other nation on the planet except for Turkey, because the Turks are mad. I love them. I have lots of Turkish friends, but my God, do they drink a serious amount of tea. I mean, Ireland drinks almost more than the next 2 tea drinkers combined. But Turkey, they're way up there. Let's take off my lovely guitar strap because I don't need it. I'm going to take off my whammy bar as well because I don't need that right now. First thing I'm going to do is take the strings off. And yes, you can take off all of your strings. There's no problem. I'm just going to string line through, down to slack. There we go. These are locking tuners, which helps make the job a little bit easier and faster. If you're looking for instructions on how to install the strings on the tuning posts, there are a lot of other great videos out there for doing that. I'm not going to do that here today. Here's just to show you how quick and easy the process of changing your strings and reinstalling new ones can be. And as I said, I want to talk specifically about lubrication. Getting good tuning stability when we're playing guitar is all about reducing friction. That's the most important thing. Unless you're dealing with the Floyd Rose system, the Floyd Rose idea for tuning stability is to increase friction, basically, to make it, to lock everything in place. Oh my God, these snips are terrible. They're really old. I don't tend to use these very much. It's time to replace them. Absolutely time to replace them. So I like to just cut my strings. When you cut your strings, always make sure you have the number of strings that you started with. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because if you don't, it means that one is on the floor somewhere and somebody may step on them in bare feet. Which, believe me, is not fun for anyone concerned. All right, there we go. Okay, and now I'm just going to take these guys off here. Push them right through the back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got all 6. All right, now we have a stringless guitar. Now, I've only been sitting and playing at home for the last month or so. So, the guitar is not in particularly bad shape. Put this old strings across the way. Let's have a quick look here, see what we can see. All right, so you can see on the old humbucker there, it's quite dirty on the edge. There's the usual dirt and dust here that we get under the strings. A lot of that is dust actually from the guitar pick on the strings, and also you get dust, which is just the breakup of your skin as well. Fingerboard is pretty clean, but it's a little dry, so I'm going to condition it. As you can see in the nut slots, I have old lubrication in there, which is now dark in color, so we're going to clean that out. Everything's pretty clean here. There's not much to do, so I'm going to give it a quick little wipe down. First thing I'm going to do is lubricate the fingerboard. Condition the fingerboard. All right. And here I'm using my Wonder Wipes Fretboard Conditioner. I love these little things. They're like wet wipes, but they're impregnated with fingerboard oil, which is really lovely. And here we go. Wonder Wipes Fretboard Conditioner. Are we going to focus? There we go. And as you can see, it comes in this little wet wipe. I keep it in the pack, and I keep it in a Ziploc bag, because when you first get these are really, really oily. I mean, seriously crazy oily. All right. But the great thing is that I can do 10 guitars with one of these. This one is almost at the end of its life. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use this, and I'm just going to rub it on. Okay. And I'm going to work against the light, you see? So the reflection of the light, we can make sure that I get even coverage. And that's all I need to do. There we go. Just go up and down. And make sure you don't get this on the rest of the guitar. You don't want to do that, because it could make a big oily mess where you don't need it. So that's where I'm just going to be careful up here. There we go. And I find this oil is great just for general cleaning, because it helps to dissolve a lot of the gunk that we get on our fingerboards. There we go. That's great. One of the things I like about these is that they don't put too much oil on your instrument. You know? So now I'm just going to wrap that back up. I'll get at least another guitar out of that. Stick that back in its bag. Now my fingers are oily, so I'm going to try not to touch the guitar. Next thing I need to do is get, I need paper towel. Let me get paper. All right, 3 pieces of paper towel. Let me just wipe my fingers a little. Some of you may be wondering, if you have a guitar with an oil finished neck, like the Music Man guitars are, as you can see, oil finished neck, can you use the Wonder Wipe Fretboard Conditioner on the back of the neck? And the answer is, I don't see why not. You know, it can't hurt. There we go. So now I'm just going to rub down. I'm rubbing, you can hear the table. It's an old wobbly table. One of those great fold-out tables that's handy for summer family dinners when you have extra people. But isn't that great for anything else? So I'm just going to wipe down. Yeah, like I said, it's pretty clean, but it was a little dry. Wipe down, make sure you get it good. All right, that looks good to me. Frets are nice and clean, so that's great. All right, fabulous. All right, next, make sure I give my hands a really good wipe here. I don't want to get too much stuff. Oh, gee. Right, now is the time to just give it a little wipe down. I don't have any guitar cleaner with me, but just good old-fashioned breath will often do a great job cleaning things up. That's fine. Get in under there. I'm not somebody who tends to sweat a lot when you play, and I really don't like it either. So my guitars tend to stay in pretty good shape. Wonderful. Now, I'm gonna get our strings ready. Beautiful. That's great. All right. Now, let's see what I got. Okay. I always find it useful. You can tell that I have a background in engineering. Of course, I have a PhD in physics too. But as any good engineer knows, you've got to keep your tools neat and clean and tidied up, especially when you're working with what could be an expensive instrument that somebody else owns. Don't leave your tools lying around in positions where you could accidentally lay the guitar down on top of them. Because believe me, sharp edges and other people's guitars don't go well together. Or even your own guitars for that matter. Right. So I don't need that. That's the string action cake. Okay, so I'm going to let my put my strings out. Get them in order. Don't need the little flyer. That's great. Okay. 9, 11, 16, 24, 32, 42. Now, one of the things I like particularly about Ernie Ball strings is, in fact, these packets, okay? They're recyclable paper, which is fine. Strings, by the way, are recyclable too. Your old strings can be recycled. One of the things I love about these is this, okay? It's perforated and it tears off, and this is a really useful tool to have, as I'm about to show you. Yes, D'Addario means that less paper is used. This is true. But if you've ever tried figuring out on stage in a hurry what's the string you need when you have an emergency string change to do, on stage, those little colored ball ends are a disaster. Can't stand them. And I've been using Ernie Ball for years, and they're my people. I'm a moderator on their forum, and they're awesome strings. D'Addario are also awesome strings. Use whichever strings you like. But this is gold to me. Let me show you, okay? So what I want to do, part of what we need to do when we're changing our guitar strings, as I said, lubrication is vitally important to tuning stability. So what we're going to do is we're going to get right in here. Let's see if I can angle that down. Let's stay in place. There we go. All right. So what we're going to do is I want to get right in to the nut slots, okay? And I want to clean those slots out. I want to get the old lube out, and this is great for that. So the first thing I'm going to do is use the perforated edge there on the high E slot. There we go. And as you can see, there's dirt on there now already, and that slot is a lot cleaner. And then I can fold it, a good hard fold, and I'm going to go in. I'm going to clean that slot out too. It's not that the slot's going to get nice and clean and white again, but you're going to get a lot of the gunk out that's in there. And we're going to relube this slot anyway, so that's good. And then I go to the next slot, and as you go up in slot sizes, you can get an extra fold in there too, and it really helps. Okay, that's good. Wonderful. There we are. Much better. And the paper helps to sort of burnish the inside of the slot a little bit anyway. Makes it nice and smooth and helps the strings to glide. All right. If you have a guitar with a string tree, it's always worthwhile putting some lubrication on the string tree as well. There we go. All right. That's nice and clean. And now I'm going to try and do the same thing over here. So you're going to get the saddles in view for you. There we go. And let's stay in place. So you can see the amount of dirt on there that came out of the slot. Now part of that, of course, is from the previous lubrication, right? So I just like to get the old lube out and get new lube in. And here, I'm just going to go like that across the top of the saddles. Just get the old lube out. There we are. I know the table is shaking and the camera is shaking. I have image stabilization on, but I don't know how well the job it's going to do. So apologies to anybody who's seasick. There we go. Cool. All right. Now comes the magic. I'm going to throw that piece away. I'm going to grab another piece. There we are. Okay, so here is the magic. All right. my piece of paper, and I have my lithium grease. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little tiny amount of lithium grease on the corner of the piece of paper. Here we go. Little amount of lithium grease on the corner of the piece of paper, and I'm going to run it through the nut slot. Okay? There we go. And again, like the fingerboard conditioning oil, I keep this in the in a little Ziploc bag because it does get greasy and you don't want it getting it on your other tools. So as you can see there's just the tiniest amount of grease, all right? And I'm going to run that through the nut slots. Start there. 2, 3. There we are. I'm just going to give it a little fold. There we go. And that's all that's required. That's it. You know, you don't need to do anything more. Over here on the saddles, we'll go for the same thing. But what I'm going to do here to get in at the saddles, I'm going to bend it once, fold it like that, and then I'm going to fold it into a point like that. See? So that kind of a little pointed triangle-y shape. You see that? Oh, where's my camera? Sorry. Little folded triangle shape. And then I'm just going to put a little bit of grease right on the top of that, like that, and go bonk, bonk, bonk. There we go. Any excess grease where you don't need it on one saddle can easily be transferred to the next saddle. And there we go. And that, my friends, is the key to tuning stability. Really helps enormously. All right, get that back into its little tiny Ziploc bag. There we go. All right. Now, let's talk a little bit about the saddles. Okay, one of the things I want you to notice, this is traditional bent steel style saddles. These are slightly different design to what was on old Fender guitars. But I want you to notice something here. You see the slot here, where this slot that the string passes through, okay? The edge of this slot right there is where strings can often hang up, right? They get caught there, especially on the old Fender designs because the slot was actually quite short. It doesn't extend all the way to the front of the saddle, right? That right there is where, that point right there is where strings break. That point it will catch strings and it will break. So on my old Stratocaster, what I had to do was frequently file or sand that point down and make sure I lubricate that as well. And it helps to prevent a lot of string breakage. Okay, good. Now we're ready to go. Get rid of this stuff. I don't need that anymore. Okay. So strings in order, good to go. And I like to pass all my strings through all at the same time. I can't see right now what you guys are seeing. I hope I have the camera in the right spot. Okay. There we go. Oops. Grabbed it. There we go. this out of the way. Beautiful. Okay, so. Right, in this case, we have locking tuners. I like to just make sure that the holes are all pointing straight down the neck. Like I said, I'm not going to do a complete tutorial on how to string up your guitar. That's not what the idea is. Just show you how quick and easy the process can be once you get used to it. And it doesn't matter what kind of tuners you have, it can all be done equally fast, you know? So, I pull the string up and make sure that the ball end is correctly seated in the block just by pulling upwards. I hold it down on the thing. Notice I'm keeping tension with this hand. I'm just keeping it taut. I don't want it flopping around too much. I'm going to pull the string through like that. You can just lock it there. I like to have like a half a wrap with locking tuners, so I just pull it back just a tiny amount, you know, like an eighth of an inch, about 3 millimeters. Lock it in place. There we go, and now we're good to go. Great, pretty good. Again, pull up, make sure the ball is seated correctly in the block. Push the string through, come on. There we go. Pull at the top, back about 3 mil. Lock it in place. Stick that there. And then just wind up. Okay. People sometimes ask me how quickly can I change a string. Well, I remember doing a gig one time ago, back in my old gigging days, where I broke a string at the beginning of a song. I had a floating bridge on my Strat at the time and was unable to play further because obviously when you have a floating bridge, if you break a string, everything goes out of tune. But I had old string off and the new string on and tuned up and stretched in, and they made the first note of the guitar solo 90 seconds into the piece. A round of applause for that. All right. Sticking. I have a problem with that tuner. I'm going to have to change that one out when I get back to France. I have a spare laying around. Okay, very good. And lock in place. There we go. Oops, back into your slot. Did that slip on me? It did. It slipped on me. I didn't make sure it was properly seated in the ball end. There we go. Now I can tighten. Get up into there. Here we go. All right. Now we go. Great. All done. Little haircut. One, two. 4, 5, 6. All right, make sure I got all 6. Keep them together, wrap them up. Again, you don't want to lose them on the floor, especially anywhere that somebody might be walking in bare feet. And as I said, old strings and cut string ends can go to recycling. Great. All right. Well, that's fabulous. That's most of the job done now. We just have to tune up and stretch in the strings. And stretching in the strings is also an important part of maintaining tuning stability. So, let me see. I think the best thing to do here to pull up the pedal board so that maybe you guys can see the tuner. What do you think? Think that'd be useful? Okay. Alright. When I'm traveling, I keep this pedal board in this little travel bag. Goes nicely into a suitcase. Keeps everything together. There we are. Okay, there we go. All right. Just talking my way through this very easy job is killing me. This is what long COVID does to you. This is why I can't work. I mean, aside from the fact that I can't walk very far. But even talking for this length of time is exhausting. There's no way I can do 3 or 4 or 5 hours of guitar lessons. It's just not possible. It just wouldn't happen, you know? Anyway, any questions so far? Obviously I can't answer them like this, but you know what to do. Put them in the comment section. Okay. Final step of our string up is, of course, stretching in. So let's see if I can get the tuner here for you. All right. Here's my tuner, which is my Polytune. All right, so can you see that? Yeah, I think you can. All right. So first thing is get close to in tune. It doesn't even need to be perfect, just rough. Okay, there's A, D, G, B. Okay, so stretching your strings is something that will happen over time if you don't stretch them in anyway, but you want to get good tuning stability right off the bat, and it's entirely possible to do. I mean, a lot of people say, for example, if you have a recording session or a big gig coming up or whatever, change your strings the day before, and that's never a bad idea, but you can do it the day of and still have good tuning stability. So what I've done, we've got the strings approximately in tune. It only has to be rough. So there's my high E string. Now I'm going to grab the high E string. I don't know why I do, but I like to keep one hand on the strings on the fretboard. And then I'm going to grab the string with my finger pulling up and my thumb pushing down. And I'm just going to sort of crimp my way along the string like that. So actually I use three fingers. So 3 fingers pulling up, thumb pushing down, and I just go up the string like that. Now, the string has obviously dropped in pitch, and I bring it back up to pitch quickly, stretch it again. And when I get to the point that the string doesn't change pitch, I know I'm good to go. So there's the B, grab, pull, obviously flat, bring it back up to B. Touch flat, there we go, we're good actually. G. G went all the way down to F sharp, G again, boom, 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 boom. G's pretty good already. Yep, good to go. C sharp. Drops quite a lot. I can bring that up to D. Oh, is that the wrong key? Yes. Up to D. And again, just have to be rough. It doesn't need to be perfect. We're stretching. We're not about to record a piece of music. So just get it rough. You don't have to spend forever tuning perfectly something that doesn't need to. There you go. The D stays in tune already. And G sharp. Let's get back to A. All right, now stretch. There's my A. Good job. Stays at A. Good. Now low E. Okay, get back up to E. There we go. Back to E. And I'm almost there. Stays in tune. All right, now the rest of the guitar is still not in tune, of course, because I have a floating bridge. So every time something was tuned up, it affects everything else. So we just go back. And I always start from the high strings and work my way down. which is a good habit to get into, especially if you're tuning by ear, because we hear high frequencies better than we hear low frequencies. So we're more accurate for tuning by ear by starting on the high strings and working our way down to the low strings. And it can save a lot of time. And with the floating bridge, you may have to do this process a few times. And that's okay. You just have to get close. You don't have to get perfectly in tune until the very last one. All right. B, G. All right, and we're good to go. Wonderful. Would you like to hear something? Sounds good to me. All right. There you are. Oh, crap, I'm done. 19 months of long COVID, guys. Seriously. And we are, what's the date today? We're the 17th or 18th of August. And there are new variants on the rise again. So take care when you're in places that are crowded. Lots of people, perhaps poor ventilation. Wear a mask. Just do. You don't want this. My life has come to a grinding halt. You know, this could be you. This could be someone you love. It's been an absolute financial disaster for me. 19 months of not being able to work. And going, and no end in sight. Who wants that to happen? You know, mask is stupidly easy to do, and it helps. It helps protect you. It's not perfect, no, but it doesn't have to be. Seatbelts aren't perfect either, but do they save a lot of people every year? For sure. Right, there we go. So as you can see, that's my process for lubricating and string change. A little slower than I would usually do it because, of course, I'm trying to narrate as I do it for you guys. So a complete string change on a guitar. If there's nothing else to be done, I can do it in 10 minutes. Right, there you go. Look after yourselves. Any questions, put them in the comment section. And thanks for watching, okay? Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.